Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Embracing Infinity on the Sacred Spiral Network. I'm Jennifer Rose, and I hope you all are doing well today. So as everyone's coming on in, I will do a couple of quick announcements for you. But first, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've all had a fabulous week. We have a beautiful weekend coming ahead to be celebrating living life to our fullest potential. And of course, embracing infinity. I want to say hi to Isabel, who's joined us, and Jennifer McCormick. Hi, girls. How you doing, ladies? Very good to see you. So a couple of quick announcements. Please join us at 2:30 Pacific, which is 5:30 Eastern Time and 10:30 in the UK for the Psychic Hour with Kelly Brickle, our producer. She will be going live at 2:30. It was originally a little bit earlier, but it was changed to 2:30. So wanted to make that announcement so you guys know when to come on because she'll be doing readings on that one. Hello, friend. How are you doing, darling? We can see all of you today, so this is good. Last week we were having trouble with not having names, so we didn't know who was saying hi to us, but today we do, so this is excellent. I want to say hi to Jeffrey, who's come on, and to Monica, hello, Alessa, hello, and Jesse's here, and there's Ronnie. Hi, everybody. Y'all are wanting some angel readings today, too, huh? I can tell you're excited to see Shannon. Well, I am too. She will be coming on shortly, and I'm excited to have her back. We are going to be chatting for a little bit, but she's going to do her wonderful, famous angel transmission for all of us so we can develop a better connection with our own angels. And we'll be doing some messages as well. So speaking of messages, later on today, the Psychic Hour, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow, Kelly and I will be in person in Orange County, California, in Tustin. So if anyone lives in the Southern California area, we'd love to have you join us. We'll be doing a live in-person mediumship demonstration. Very excited to be connecting with people's loved ones in that in-person energy, which is so fun. On Sunday, I will be hosting my For the Love of Spirit, our Divine Sunday service. Would love to see you. I do this every 2 weeks, and it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. in Eastern time, and 6 p.m. in the UK. We have the lovely Elaine Stanton from the UK. She will be our guest medium and inspired speaker, and we're excited to have her on For the Love of Spirit for the first time. In addition, Fran Pierce, as she always comes in and does her fabulous, famous poetry that everybody knows and loves so well. And Nancy Muratala and Kelly Brickle will be joining us as well as our spiritual healers. So we're very excited to be all together for the Love of Spirit on Sunday. It's a very loving gathering. We're all about community. We're all about being in the love together. So hope you can join us, and you can sign up for that on mediumjenniferrose.com. It's free, it's fun, it's fabulous. We hope to see you. If you do choose to make a donation, I always donate a portion of it to a charitable cause as well. One more announcement. Now, I know you're all excited for angel readings, but we also have in a week and a couple of days, a week from this Sunday, Miss Fran Pierce, who's with us in our audience today too, and Shannon will be back, and we are going to be doing messages from the enchanted realm. So we're talking angels and fairies and dragons. Oh my, and we're very excited about that. That's going to be on Sunday afternoon. I believe we're at 1 p.m. Pacific, 9 in the UK. So you all don't want to miss that. So mark your calendars for a week from Sunday, and we will be so happy to see you. So I got all of those announcements out of the way. I want to stop real quick, say hi to Miss Felicia is here too. Very nice to see you. Welcome. Melinda Oling, hello, darling. Good to see you too. And Catherine is here. Hello. And Nancy, hello, girl. So happy that you're all here today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us too. It is a beautiful day and much love to be shared today too. So um, I'm not going to talk for too long because I want to make sure we have plenty of time to be talking all things angel with Shannon today too. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about consciousness, which is always fun for me to do, and see if I can um, maybe just connect a few dots that might be helpful for everyone here today. Now, I have the most interesting conversations with spirit, and we have a lot of fun because when you're connected with the spiritual realm, you could say they talk in a lot of like rhymes and riddles, and as you know, many of scriptures have a lot of parables, have rhymes and riddles, and as you move through the transformation process, you begin to understand that very few questions have one specific singular answer, because we live in an ocean of perspective and perception. If you were at the center of a sphere, you could see all perspectives from that center point. Or if you were on the outside, then you could see all perspectives looking in. But of course, spirit is infinite. The creator, God, source, universe, whatever you'd like to call it, is infinitely expansive. But the answers to the questions as you go through this process are a lot like yes, no, maybe so, kind of, sort of, not exactly. You'll get a few exactlies as you're at it. But what you believe and what you know can change over time. And there's just those few things that go into the what I call the cannot deny category, the undeniable category too. And so I was having this very fun, thank you, Maggie, going a little wavy today. I was having a fun conversation with spirit, and we were talking about consciousness. So we were talking about the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. And it was such an interesting little, fun thing we had, because what we consider to be, conscious has different kind of double meanings, kind of, sort of. So we talk about raising our consciousness. We talk about raising our awareness. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Anyways, we talk about raising our consciousness. We talk about raising awareness. But what we consider to be our conscious thinking mind, which is what, is moving in this world, is actually not as conscious as we think it is. It's once we start to become aware of the unconscious parts of us, beyond the veil, beyond the spirit, that which is also mind. Once that begins to come and move forward into our being or rise to the surface, right? That's how we build more conscious awareness. That makes sense too. So it's an interesting play on words, because what we consider to be conscious, which is just our personalities, our thinking minds of moving into this physical reality. And then we go into the unconscious and we talk about raising consciousness, becoming conscious. We're unconscious trying to become conscious. But what we're really trying to do is bring the unconscious, which is actually more conscious than our conscious mind, into our unconscious consciousness. So I know I just probably said a tongue twister there and made you laugh or made you roll your eyes, and that's okay. But these are the kind of conversations I have with spirit, and it's too funny, but it's very indicative of what happens when you start to ask the questions and seek truth. Because when you ask the questions and seek truth, things start to come in rhymes and riddles that way, because there's not a lot of like singular answers. So I'm glad you're getting a kick out of that, everybody. But it is true. It is the unconscious part of us, the part that we're just less aware of, which is really much more conscious than our beautiful and divine and perfect personalities. And when that part starts to knock on our door, when the higher self starts to drop more seeds of awareness into our personality here who doesn't know the plan, this part, our personality, becomes more conscious of the higher awareness of the higher self. And that's a beautiful thing. It takes a little bit of work, it takes a little bit of effort. It takes some um, agreement with self to allow this to happen, because in the process of transformation your belief systems will break down. Who you think you are will change more and more rapidly, and that can be very difficult for you, for your persona, for your personality, but you've been changing all along anyways. It just feels very difficult sometimes too. But if we can make a conscious effort to allow our unconscious parts of us that we're less aware of to come and meet us, this is how we find more wholeness. This is how we feel more empowered. This is how we experience less anxiety. This is how we are able to have more will over our personal lives in this physical reality. This is how we're able to manifest much in a much better way for ourselves. Because if we're just trying to manifest of what we think we want from our conscious personalities, we don't know what the unconscious parts of us wants, and it may want different things. If we're not aware of that, there is not full agreement happening. And so when we make friends, like I talked about last week, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. When we make friends with all of the parts of self that we're less aware of, bring them up, talk to them, get to know them, love them unconditionally. Listen to what they have to teach you, even if they may sound a little negative. They probably have something to teach you to make you more aware of. And in this getting to know you process, magic happens. And that is a very beautiful thing. And one last thing I would love to leave you with is the word ego. And as you all know me, who know me, I tend to word things in a softer, gentler fashion. And if you ask people what is ego, you'll get a multitude of different answers. But what troubles me is that in spiritual teaching, sometimes we are taught that we should get rid of it, that we should kill it off, that it should die, and some pretty intense words being used to describe what is basically our experiential self, in a more condensed version. It may be, people may refer to what are like the protective parts of self. And sometimes when we are protecting self, we may have behaviors and actions and words that are less helpful for our experiences. But ego is not separate from spirit. Neither is your personality. Neither is your conscious thinking mind. It is all spirit. It's all connected. It all has a purpose. And the higher self of you, your soul, the divine, loves it all. It really does. And it just wants you to know that other part of you better. So I got a lot of chills with that. I hope that brought a few of you a little bit of a little bit of a relaxation too. All we need to do is build more awareness. And so then the parts of our ego, our personality, our experiential self that we may think don't help us, we've got to give those parts love too. And then they will get on board with us. We'll mature it, not get rid of it. How does that sound? Let's mature it, not get rid of it. Does that sound good to everybody? What do you think? So that's what I would like to leave you with. And then we need to get on to some angel talk too. So I just want to say hi to everybody who is come on since then. Hello, Miss Maggie. Great to see you. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Sometimes not all messages make it into my comment section. So please know I love you if I don't say hello, but I try my best. Hi, Jesse. Great to see you. Simon Stone is here. Hello. And Debbie Romero. How you doing, beautiful queen? Good to see you. And Jennifer Osika. Hello. Nice to see you. And there is Michael Zinn. How are you doing, friend? One love. Yes, I agree with you. Thank you, Isabel. Much appreciated. And hello, Odell. And Odell, tips top hat to you, my friend. So great to see you. So Thank you all for being on here today. So let's go ahead. I can't wait to have our beautiful friend Shannon back. She is a career coach. She is a beautiful medium and has a special connection with the angel realm. And so we're so excited that she's back here joining me today. So Shannon, come on in, darling. Hi.
Hello. Thank
How
you
are you?
so much for having me. It is always a delight and an honor to be on with you and get to share space with you and be on the airwaves with you. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me.
Yeah. Well, it's a delight and an honor for me. And you're one of my dearest friends. And I'm so happy we get to be together in this way. And we got the sparkles in the background so that we feel very angely.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So how are you doing here today?
I'm doing okay. I have to admit, I was really resonating with what you were just talking about, especially because this past week I had client after client after client show up, and you're going to love this because this is one of our conversations often that you and I have in the background, is showing up and talking about just how cranky and angry they were this week. And so I had client after client say to me, and I'd be like, "Oh, Shannon, I'm so sorry, I'm cranky this week," or I'm so sorry, I'm just not in a good mood. I'll try and be in a better mood next week." And of course, my response was like, "Oh no, this is totally fine. Come as you are." And so I've just been having that conversation with my clients over and over about not trying to reject that part of ourselves that's cranky or angry or any of those other emotions that we feel like we do have to shove away to be acceptable to the rest of the population or to our friends or our coach. So I really love what you were talking about welcoming in all parts of ourselves and I think making it safe for all of ourselves. So so overall I am doing well, but coming off of a week where there was just a lot of intense emotion, and so thrilled to be here today with you.
Oh, I'm thrilled to be here today with you too. And I suppose this full moon might be helping with it, stirring up the emotions, but we have them all the time, right? We are human. It happens. It's true. And it's this is how we are. We judge certain emotions as good and certain emotions as bad or wrong, and probably because that's how we've been taught. I know you've got all this love coming in for you. Everyone's
I
saying, "Shannon, we
know.
love you, we love you, we love you," right? And
So
it's
sweet.
it's so beautiful. So it's so nice when we can learn to hold space for our own feelings and emotions, and if we have people who can hold space for us too, that don't expect us to be perfect, perfect and sweet and nice all the time, right? We've had many shows on where we've talked about anger and the dragon, and it's a very sacred process to be angry, to have sacred rage, to have sacred anger. It's just trying to learn how to express it in the healthiest way that hopefully won't cause harm to yourself or your relationships, right? The good, bad, and ugly welcome. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you.
Well, that's exactly right. We were talking about the importance of acknowledging it so it doesn't leak out in, ways that are not constructive. So to actually be able to acknowledge it and work with it so that it then becomes a charge and an energy and a passion and a force, as opposed to, leaking it out. And as our dragons like to do, burn it all down.
I know, right? And so it's really just, if we just take time to talk to these parts of ourselves, what do they want? What do they need to say or hear, and let them get their piece out. And then they'll feel better. And it's like, okay, well, what do you want from me? What are you trying to teach me? And then I think we'll start to feel better and start to feel like we're a little bit more in control of our process, our emotion, our future, or what we're trying to create for ourselves too. But every time we just do that little and push it back, and push it back. No, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be like this. Then we're losing a certain amount of authenticity. And authenticity is really embracing the infinite parts of us.
You got it. You got it. And especially right now, one of the things that, I work on in my own personal practice and in my own personal life is, and I love this Jennifer, because these are like so many of the conversations that you and I have behind the scenes. So yeah, like to be able to just talk with you about some of these things that we love to talk about and share it with everyone here. That idea that so many of us have these places that we go, right? Like we might go to the ocean, we might go to the mountains, we might have a favorite spot or a favorite room, that we go to these places to help regulate ourselves, right? To sort of regulate our systems, to get back into alignment, to feel more in equanimity. And that in the same way that we use these places and spaces, then and there becomes this sense of safety, of just being again, that we as individuals can also take on that role, right? That when we acknowledge all parts of ourselves, when we get into a good relationship with our anger, when we get in a good relationship with those parts of ourselves that we're not as proud of, or that we'd like to just, I'm going to shoo that away, that then we come back into alignment and we come back into attunement with ourselves, and then become that safe place for other people to regulate, that we become that place for other people to be able to get into alignment with themselves. And so that profound ripple effect that can happen when we're continuing to pay attention to ourselves and take good care of ourselves and welcome all parts of ourselves back in. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so beautiful. And I got like two parts for that. One is about regulating, and then one is about how we can not get triggered by when somebody else is having a process, and that so these are two very difficult things to learn how to do. And I've come to understand that when we get triggered, we go into fight flight, and we don't know how to regulate the intensity of stimulus that our nervous system is experiencing. Now, if our mind has a context of intensity that's good, like, oh, I just, won a prize, I just won a prize, or my sports team just won, or, something really happy happened, that you have a story, then you take that intensity and you're like, oh, this is great. You can handle it. And you're welcoming of that intensity in your nervous system, right? So it's like, extreme joy and things like that, and happy things happen that we have a story. But if we experience that intensity, we don't have like a context that's happy for our minds to say it's okay, then we're interpreting, assuming that the stimulus is bad or wrong, or something is wrong, and we go into fight flight. Fight flight freeze fawn, right? But if we just understand that the intensity is intensity, and let it be and let it move through the system without a story, then we just understand it's just a stimulus, and don't put a story to it, then it can move, then it can move out of the system without having to go into like, all of the stories of all of that too, right? Does that make sense?
Makes so much sense.
Part of regulating our nervous system, and as you and me know, we're both very sensitive people, is just understanding that if we don't attach a huge story to what's happened, of what we're experiencing, that it may not overtake our system so much too. So it's a lot of it is the mind and the story that are attaching to the stimulus. But what a lot of us will do is we will look for who's causing that, and then put it out there, instead of just learning how to regulate inside. Does that make sense? What's causing that? So it's that person, it's that situation, it's that result, it's that thing I'm seeing out there, that is causing me to feel bad. When if all we just do is work with the intensity, or work with the stimulus of it, then we probably are actually like experiencing life and just not realizing that it's part of our experience. Like our body, our system is like, wow, look at all this stuff that's happening. It's just kind of going, wow. In simpler terms, like what I'm saying, Shannon, is like, we know that when we get up on stage to do public speaking, nervousness and excitement are the same thing. So it's all in how we want to label it, right? And then the second part is when we can try to not get too triggered by somebody else when they're experiencing their stimulus. If we're able to manage our own systems, then we're not doing trigger, cycle and getting into that. That makes sense?
Yeah, no, that's
Yes.
really well said. And I'm just going to name it. Like, I'd be remiss if I didn't name it in terms of, when we're talking about intensity,
Yeah.
right? We're here in the United States. There was an election that happened last week. Like, it is
Yeah.
really intense out there. And so when we're talking about intensity, like, we can line that up for what a lot of people is something very specific that they're reacting to, dealing with, or if they're not, people around them are reacting to and dealing with. So right now that this intensity, is coming from somewhere specific, and for many of us. And that, on one hand, in practical terms, like, riding this wave of intensity, I work with a lot of artists and creatives in my coaching practice. Like, that constructively can be the fuel for, creativity. It can be the fuel for new ideas. It can be that energy, can be the generation into something new. But for others of us, like, that intensity, when it is overwhelming, there can be other practical things that we can do with it, right? Like, to create that sense of safety around it. For others of us, it might be like, hey, we need to get practical and acknowledge living in this 3D world and these human bodies that are reactive to fear, and create a plan, right? Like, hey, what is the root of my fear? What is the root of this intensity, and what fear is it triggering in me? How do I create a sense of safety? How do I create a plan? How do I get practical? How do I check in with those around me who are being impacted by this intensity? And so that ability to, that kind of self-care, like, some of the constructive ways are great. And that in the beginning, right, like, we might have to just, create those plans, create those, those structures for ourselves that help ease our own anxiety and ease our own overwhelm with all of the intensities that are being brought up right now.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that too. And because that's all proactive, so we're not going into a place of where we're feeling like victimized by the stimulus, and whatever is, the trigger. Because again, we could be feeling the same thing, but if we had an association of joy to it, we would be okay with it. If that, you know what I mean? And so it's like, um, and so what you're saying is like create safety, learn how to breathe, learn how to make steps, instead of just going, down into the rabbit hole.
Or the other
That makes
direction, right? Like, going up and out and just
Yes. Or
checking
yeah,
out,
and out of your
right?
body. Yeah, totally, like totally out of your body too. Yeah, I know. And so I mean, that's something that I've been working on a little bit harder myself. And sometimes I just realize, I go, wait a minute, is what I think this is it true? Because I know there's other practices of just asking yourself, is this true? Is this really the whole story? Is this really what's going on? Is there a part of me that is actually loving the experience of the contrast and is saying, hey, this is great? Because the higher self of us doesn't judge anything. It doesn't have a bad or good. It's just like, this is all awesome. Life, contrast, duality, cool. And we're like,
Yes. And it is, as spiritual people, can be that challenging moment of, right, like, recognizing that, like, oh gosh, I am this spiritual being, and I am this, limitless potential spiritual being, and I'm also in this human form that still
yeah,
has to, do the dishes and
yeah,
pay the bills and make sure my family is safe and my friends are safe. And so being able to hold both of those, the complexity of both ends of that spectrum. Yeah, you're
yeah.
exactly right.
I think that's where the alchemy comes in, right? When we can hold both realities and they're both right and they're both good and they're both pure, and that makes it so beautiful. And so I learned a long time, I don't remember where it was, but just to say that's not nervousness, that's excitement, so it's like a reframe of the mind. And then our body says, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And I know, like, people who are athletes and speakers, they just learned when they get the butterflies, it's excitement, you know And
Yes,
it's like, to me, that's so empowering. If we can just like practice this, like maybe I'm just excited about this. you
absolutely.
know? Um, Beautiful, beautiful discussion. And I love, because of the work you do, you have so much insight and wisdom, Shannon, and you help so many people with all of your clients. And I just want to commend you because you can hold space for people when they are in a grumpy mood, when they aren't feeling perfect. And I can imagine what a relief it is to know that they can come to you and you're not expecting them to be perfect, because I, again, I would imagine that you can do the most help with them when they're able to be their authentic selves and tell you how they're truly feeling. And your ability to hold space for that is a gift, a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I honestly believe that perfect is boring, right? Like perfect is boring. And so I work with artists and creatives. It's the quirks, it's the unexpected, it is the unique expressions of self, right? Like it's that, to me, getting access and being privileged enough to have people be willing to show those imperfections and those things that make them unique or see the world differently is what makes life just fun and interesting to me, very much, right? Like, why be normal? There's so many different ways to experience and be in this world that so I think that it's those imperfections that really are what make me curious and delighted about the people in my world.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And Kelly and I just spoke about this last week when we were live together, and we were embracing the weirdness because, because God's source creator is creative. And so when we move into that imaginative space, and as we know, spirit works symbolically. And so the more we embrace our artisticness and our own weirdness, so to speak, we actually are getting more closer to authenticity. We really are, because it's to me, it's like that's how you're getting closer to God, because you're embracing your unique self and all the different parts of you and how you showed up in this world and want to express yourself. And I think that's pretty fabulous. So what is weird? What is normal?
I was
Don't
going to
know
say,
anymore.
from one weirdo to another, in a nice, lovely company of weirdos, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm just going to talk to the angels and
Yeah, I know, right? What's funny is when people who aren't into this stuff, something happens to them that's a little bit unusual that they can't explain, and then they come to us and they're like, this sounds a little bit weird, and you're like, I talked to angels, we talked to the dearly departed on the other side, like nothing's weird. And then sometimes when people are going through transformation, you can have a whole lot of strange phenomena happening when you're going through transformation, especially as you get into the more advanced stages of it too. You're seeing and hearing all kinds of weird things too. And they're like, you're gonna think this is really weird. And I'm like,
yeah, you're like, try me, just try me.
Oh, chicken feed.
Which I want to acknowledge you, because that's part of the way that we started working together. People might not know this, but I was looking around for someone to help me with my abilities. And I did speak to several people who told me that what I was experiencing wasn't real, right? Like, oh no, that's not the way it works, right? Like it's not real. What you're doing isn't a thing. Other people's guides don't talk to you. Angels don't talk to you. Like this is the way that it works. And so when I met with Jennifer for the first time, she was like, oh yeah, of course. No, let's go with it. Let's see what happens, right? Like, let's continue to develop this. So when Jennifer talks about, we talk about having this open mind and embracing people's different, right? Like the different they do things. She does actually live and embody that generosity of accepting everybody and accepting their abilities the way they are. And I am proof of that. That's why I'm here today.
Oh, thank you, Shannon. And yeah, I guess I am an out of the box medium, and spirit forced me to be that way too, really, because I was in the box, and then spirit forced me out of the box with a it was pretty swift and And I'm like, okay. But then I realized so many others didn't want to be in that box either, because you can't grow that way. It's well, it actually, I'm gonna say for some people it's for them because they want to experience a certain way with much more detail and much more length and depth, and that's perfectly fine. But a lot of us want to have a more multi-dimensional, all-encompassing approach, and that's fine too. But yeah, it's really difficult when somebody tells you like that's not real. You can't work like that just because that's not their experience or how they've been taught to. So find somebody, find your tribe, find your teacher that understands you and will help to help you just blossom with what you are already bringing to the table. Because we don't need more people that are just like everybody else. We don't need, every medium in the world to do the exact same thing the exact same way. Because where's the personality gone then in it? Where is the unique expression gone? So, Jesse, we love you.
That's right, Jesse.
We love you. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela. I want to say hi to Erica that's come on too, and David. I am so sorry you're feeling sad, David. I hope that being with our group will help to uplift you. We are bringing a lot of healing and positive energy with us. We're in the space of spirit, so we're sending you lots and lots of love. Vivian, definitely you can become limitless when you trust spirit. Yes, we are limitless. I want to, let me see, is anyone else doing this? Daniela, hello, darling Daniela, and hello, Katie. Nice to see you. And Marwa Padilla, sorry, I didn't say that correctly. I apologize. And let's see, Tanita, hi. Beth White, hello. We have such a beautiful group today. We're very, very lucky. We're very, very lucky group of angels today. So very lucky. All right, Shannon, let's talk angels. And y'all, you have a special treat. If you haven't seen Shannon work, not only is she a medium, but she has a beautiful connection with the angels. And hi, Jennifer Andrews. And she's going to do a special angelic transmission and energetic transmission to help you with your connection. And with that, I'd love to hand it over to you, Shannon, if you could talk a little bit about how you work, and we can go ahead and get facilitated with that.
Sure. All right. Well, I think first thing I would love for us to do is this is something that normally goes on behind the scenes before we get on. But the first thing I'm going to ask us to do is we're all connected here through the show, but to also ask that we connect our lands and just ask our land. So Jennifer and I'll ask my land to connect to Jennifer, but to ask our lands to connect to each other. It can might notice a little bit of a shift in just the energy and the space around us when I ask my land to connect to Jennifer's land. So we ask our lands to connect up, and then to ask our spaces to connect with each other. And for me, that just that means that we're communicating and we're working together, not just through StreamYard, but through the space and through the land, and increases the connection. Yeah. Oh, I love that nice little shift and adjustment. Number two is when I first started, right? So much of my work goes back to my coaching, because it was back in the day when I'd ask my clients questions and I'd hear responses before my clients would actually respond. And it was that experience that started me wanting to know more about who was actually talking to me. What was that voice that I was hearing? That was, was it my voice? Like, it got me curious. And I pretty soon realized that I was able to discern between different realms that were coming in at different times to help and to lend their assistance, to help be our teachers and our guides. And one of those particular realms is the angelic realm. And for me, the angelic realm feels very light and high. It feels like nice and airy, almost like champagne bubbles. And often when I'm working with people, they'll come in as a big bright light. And so we all have them. The way that they show up for me is in two different kinds. They show up for me with our birth angels. So our angels that have been with us our entire lifetime, from before our first breath, when we were still coming into being, as all the way through to the very end of our last breath. They make sure that we don't exit before our time. They help us get out of jams. They're often the ones that, are involved when we have those moments that say, hey, how did I get out of that? Like, how did I just survive that really tricky situation? And then on the flip side, I also get what I call project manager angels. These angels that come in and work with us during periods of time that we are either going through a transition, have a project that we've undertaken, or have something special going on that they have come in to assist us with. And what's fascinating to me about that is they've told me, right, that they are here to help us. That often people don't think of angels as a go-to for help or assistance. And we can sometimes, very spiritual people, still not have a direct relationship with the angels. And so it's these project manager angels that are very much asking us to connect with them, to ask them for help, and to ask them for assistance. And I like to say that part of that asking for assistance and being specific, that's important, is because absolutely, Beth, absolutely, that it is common that it helps us align with what it is that we are working on. That by us asking for help, it's a signal to our systems. It helps align us to get us ready for that next step that we're asking for. And I also like to say, if for some reason, I have this joke with my friends, right? Like, oh, I've only got one thing on my to-do list. That one thing on my to-do list is to get my life together, right? And that sometimes if that next step isn't showing up, to break it into smaller pieces. That for me, it's a symbol that my next step, the thing that I'm asking for, is too big, but then to continue to break it down into smaller pieces, whether it's just clarity on what my next step is or the perfect resource. So anyway, we'll talk more about that as we're doing our angel readings. Anything I missed there, Jennifer, before I go into the transmission in terms of, just my...
I think that was perfect. That was beautiful.
Excellent. Little sip of coffee. Okay. So then we've gotten all of our lands connected up. What I am going to do is to give everyone an energetic transmission. And this energetic transmission is an assistance. I'm basically sharing my knowledge as well as connecting up with your angels to help make it easier for you to connect and sense with your own angels. We all have this ability. It's just a particular sensitivity. It's a particular knowing. And so I am going to share with you information for your own system to receive that will help with your next step, your own awareness, your own knowing of your own angels. And so in order to first do this, actually, I'm going to walk you through the process. We are first going to just ground ourselves, get our systems ready. Not to worry, right? Like your system will only receive what is right and perfect for itself, but we're going to get our systems ready to receive by grounding, and I'll walk us through that. After I ground everyone and we all ground together, I'm going to put my hands up to the screen and I am going to start sending energy. When you feel ready, you also will reach up and through your hands, allow that energy to enter you and enter your system in just the right amount. And I will then wait for my angels, your angels, to signal that the transmission is complete. And then we'll take a moment or two just to integrate and let our systems digest everything that it has received. And we'll go from there. Then we'll roll right into angel readings. So first step. Now, as long as you are not driving in the car or some other place, I would love for you to take a moment and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, to simply notice your bones. Because when you notice your bones, you're in your body. So noticing your spine, starting at that place where your spine connects to your skull, and letting your attention go all the way down your spine till it reaches your tailbone and wraps around your hips into your pelvic bowl, and lets your attention then go down your thigh bones, your lower leg bones, and all the way into your feet. Taking your attention back into your spine. Again, going back to where your spine meets your skull. Letting your attention go down and travel through your ribs and up to your sternum, where it connects in to your shoulders and goes down the bones of your arm and into your hands. Now noticing the bones of your skull, maybe your jaw, those interlocking places in your skull, because when you are in your bones, you are in your body. And yet again, letting your attention travel down your spine. And as your attention reaches your tailbone, letting that tail continue down all the way down to the center of the earth. So your tailbone becomes a nice long tail that goes all the way down to the center of the earth, finding an interesting rock down at the bottom where it wraps itself around. And now, as you're noticing yourself in your bones, I'm going to start generating my ball of energy, my information from my own system, my own knowing about the joys and delights of connecting with the angels, as well as letting your angels influence this energy, this information. All right, and now that it's ready, you can go ahead and put your arms up towards the screen. And I'm going to hold out this energy. And you can simply notice the energy that is being received through your hands in just the right amount, in just the right proportions. Simply allowing the energy to be received through your hands. It might feel like a tingle. It might feel like spirit fingers. You might notice colors or sensations. And the transmission is almost complete. So simply letting your system relax and receive. Almost simply allowing that present to be put right into your hands. All right. With that, the transmission is complete. And for all of you, just to take a moment and let the energy settle into your system. Maybe notice how busy your systems are for a moment, just integrating what it's just received. And as you're integrating, simply notice the space around you. What are you noticing? They're telling me that each of your angels are behind you, right? I'm getting the vision of your birth angel for each and every one of you standing behind you. So maybe you notice a presence behind you. Maybe you notice a thickness to the air, or a little bit of sparkle, champagne bubbles around you. Yeah, so simply sitting there and gaining your own awareness of your own relationship with your angel. All right. I'll just ask, is anyone noticing anything?
That was beautiful, Shannon.
Thank you.
I saw a lot of different colors coming in, expecting maybe one or two, but then they kept changing. I had a lot of tingling on my face, and then I could feel the energy ball in my hands as well too. It was very beautiful. It's very dynamic and peaceful at the same time. So, which to me is like, wholeness, when you have like these two elements like coming together, the dynamic and then the peacefulness, and then they merge together. It's very beautiful. So I do feel like they're helping us to elevate our consciousness. That was
Yes.
so beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I can see already, right? Like I'm getting this vision. I can see yours behind you, and she's
Hmm.
this beautiful, sweet, loving presence. And she's got her big wings right behind you. I actually see them wrapped around
Uh-huh.
you in this moment. Yeah, and right from the get-go, reminding that,
Yeah.
yeah, just how held and loved
Mm.
you truly are. Is it all right if I keep going? If I keep going, Jennifer?
Oh, sure. I did pick up on a feminine as well, so that's validating. So sure.
Yes, and not surprising, she comes through as that very classic angel image of the blonde hair and the blue eyes, just full of glitter and sparkle. And she's acknowledging how much she enjoys playing and
Mhm.
creating with you, playing and creating with you. And she wants to acknowledge that you lean into her, and that she's part of that support that you feel in terms of all of these courageous decisions that you make, that she's part of the team that encourages you, and the courageous way that you live your life, and the courageous decisions that you make. And she's encouraging you, right, to know that she is with you, and that it's funny, as I'm hearing this word courage, I'm immediately seeing like that tiger, right? Like the fierceness of the tiger. So acknowledging your fierceness and your courage. She's like, it's kind of cool. It's like not necessarily what you would normally think of when you think of angels and light and airy. So
Mhm.
it's, again, those all parts of yourself. Yeah. And the message that she's talking about is not being afraid to unleash that tiger and unleash that courage, in different ways. It's going back to what we were talking about in terms of that
Mhm.
creativity, that they're all connected. That courage, that tiger, and her are all connected to large aspects of all connected to large aspects of your creativity. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just waiting for one. Ooh, what she's telling me is there's an upcoming opportunity. There's an upcoming
Mhm.
opportunity, and I'm seeing you on stage. And she's talking about, as part of that upcoming opportunity, that there is actually room to play with your creativity and the way that you receive messages from spirit, and so to lean into it, right? Like that you might be thinking for you to show up a particular way and do things in a particular way, but there's actually freedom in room to play and interact with spirit and share spirit with people in a different way. I'm not getting specifics on it most yet, but But yeah, something around playing with the way that I'm actually seeing maybe even some physicality, right? Whether if it's getting people up and moving, or some playing with physicality, that there's different ways to dance, perhaps. That there's different ways to engage, and she's encouraged you to step into that.
Oh, thank you, Shannon. That was amazing. Wow. I got lucky that the hostess got a message today. So I feel so lucky. Thank you, darling. And yeah, I know what you're talking about. That all makes perfect sense. So I can validate everything that you said. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I have a very good idea. So I have a lot of feedback here too, of what people were experiencing. Heat in the hands with Alessa, whole body colors, feeling like a white light around her. A lot of love from Vivian, says she felt a lot of love. Oh, thank you, Vivian. I was sending my love too. Yes. Warmth in my hands, tingling in my body. Jennifer McCormick. Brenda felt the energy coming through her palms too. So this is very beautiful. Jessie, a pool of liquid silver rippling. Oh, that's very angelic for sure. Hi, Heidi. Thanks for joining us. And Elizabeth and Felicia, Michelle. If everybody, Alessa, I hope I've got everybody that's come in. And so hi to everybody. Thanks for joining us. So a lot of beautiful feedback too. So everybody, yes, it is that time. Please let us know, because I know people come in and out. Please let us know if you're here and if you're open, because if you say open, that gives us your consent to get a message from us. And consent is a beautiful thing. It's a very empowering part of our being. And we appreciate that very much too. Also, I want to say hi, Minty May. Thank you for sharing, which reminds me, thank you all if you're able to share, if you're able to heart our video when you exit out of it. I know some of you click on it if you heart it. Subscribe to the Sacred Spiral channel. Follow myself, follow Shannon over on Instagram, Shannon Ratay, and Kelly Brickle, Psychic Medium, and the Sacred Spiral Network. Give a girl a follow for all our love. Thank you. With that, I'm going to hand it back over to you. You can do the first one, please, Shannon.
Sounds good. The first person I am drawn to is Isabel. Isabel, are you? I think I already saw that you're open. There she is. I'm going straight for it.
Yes.
Isabel, right from the get-go, I want you to know that I see a whole team of angels around you. So I've got Birth Angel, and I also have your whole, a whole bunch of project manager angels. And the sense that I'm getting, right, it's almost like you have your own angel gang, your own angel pack, right, your own angel posse. You can use your word, but I'm getting that vision of, quite honestly, Taylor Swift in Bad Blood in that video where she's got all of her people supporting you, but it's a bit reverse. And what that is I'm getting the sense that you are very connected to the sense, to the concept of earth angels, right? Some of us here on earth are earth angels, and we are put in spaces and places where we are at just the right place and just the right time to lend a hand. Whether, you're that person that just shows up when there's a lost child and the perfect person to help reunite that child with their parents because the child just got lost. Or that person who happens to come along, at to the accident that's just happened and consoles people. And so what I'm getting is they're acknowledging you as this earth angel, and that your strong connection to the angelic realm has you being one of those people that is actually the physical, doing the physical work, being the physical helper here on earth of the angelic realm. And as that earth angel, your team just wants to thank you, right? They want to thank you for answering the call. They want to thank you for being one of their special helpers, and to know that, it's normal. It's normal in these moments, and especially these times, to have those doubts, right? Oh gosh, is it safe to be the person that jumps in and helps? Is it safe to be the person who gets involved? Is it safe for me to I keep ending up in these situations where it takes my, it takes my breath away, or you wonder, right? Like, do I know the right thing to say? Do I know the right thing to do? Am I really the person to open my mouth or take the action? And they want you to know that, yes, right? Like, that's part of your special mission. It is part of who you are on this earth. And that as a result of you taking on this mission and working so closely with them, that you are safe, you are protected, that they are always in close connection with you. And that if you are ever at a moment where you don't know what to do or say, that you can always ask your angels. They're telling me that your clairaudience game is high. There's all sorts of different clairs, whether it's clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudience, and clairaudience is hearing the voices. And they're telling me that your clairaudience is strong. So in the same way that I was hearing the voices in my head and had to figure out where they're coming from, for you to know that that's part of your connection to the angelic realm, that they will always give you the next step, that they will always tell you what to do. And part of the reason that this is all coming through right now is it sounds like there is, I'm seeing sort of this, I almost see this big tangle of string, right? Like that big string ball, that there is a something big on the horizon that might, I'm getting that it has to do with family, and that as part of that larger part of that sort of tangle of string, that ball of string related to family, to know that, number one, that you are at choice. If you decide to get involved, if you decide to help, that you are always at choice. This is not an obligation. And that there's something important to know about you being at choice. But to know, if you say yes to get involved in this family situation, this family tangle that I'm seeing, that they will be right there with you, right? That it will require energy, it'll require perseverance, it'll require resilience. But when that happens, to know that the whole team will show up for you to support you if you decide to say yes. And I'm trying to get a little bit more clarity, but like, nope, it involves a whole bunch of different family members. I'm seeing everything sort of, just kind of a big old mess that needs to be sorted out. But to know that they will be with you and supporting you if you decide to say yes and get involved in that situation. I'm hearing something about land. Something about land, and it feels like trusts and generations and people. And and I'm going to leave it at that for right now. But really great. Thank you so much, Isabella, to being open to a reading and even helping people learn a little bit about Earth Angels and people like you who are the helpers and are so connected to the angelic realm to be able to help so many people. So thank you. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Shannon. Everyone's commenting they can see white light behind you too, so they see your glow.
Oh, thank you.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I know, right? We're very blessed. We're very blessed. I did want to come to Michelle Krantz if she's still here. I did see, Michelle, that you put in the comments that your father passed away, and I want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. Are you still here, Michelle? If you could just let me know real quick too. But I did feel like connection from your father of wanting to give some very heartfelt love. He showed me as like putting his hands, this is for you, but he put his hands like on my shoulders to say what he's kind of doing for you is putting his hands like behind you on your shoulders. Thank you, love. So I would just love to connect you, give a little message from your dad too, to let you know that he's got your back. He's very much a support system. I know he was a very hard worker. I know he is just bursting with love and just the opportunity to be able just to connect with you and say that I'm here. I know there's a lot of grief that's happening right now that is still being processed. And I do feel him taking just kind of like saying one step at a time, one step at a time. He brings me a lot of beautiful memories of you as a little girl playing outside, playing childhood games, wants you to remember that part of you, because that's where your joy lives. And he wants you to really just be in the brightness, bring in the light, bring in the sunshine too. He says, don't worry, I'm okay. Don't worry, I'm okay. I know this is all very tight in here as he comes in with me. Let me know if this is making sense for you, Michelle, if you could just validate for me in the comments, my love. I get a lot of very tightness in breath here too, so I know that he can breathe much more peacefully too. But I know he's also very ill before he passed too, because I just feel like I want to go to sleep, and I have a really hard time keeping awake with that too. But he lets you know, like, that's all better now. That's all better now too. It's interesting. His hands feel better too, because there was stiffness in his hands. He tells me about, and that feels better. He tells me his feet bothered him before too, and that feels better now too. So he's very much free of like the physical ailments and the aches and pains that he was going through too. And he tells me his head is better too. So I hope this is all making sense for you. Oh, okay, thank you, love. I'm so sorry that he had to have that experience, but we know now that he's at peace, and definitely with the angels. I can feel that too. So speaking of angels, I got chills with that. They were really there to kind of escort him over to spirit world too. There's a dog with him as well. There's a family dog he wants you to know is with him too. And I know he's going to be communicating with birds and trees and birds flying and things like that. Not just hummingbirds, but other kinds of birds as well. He's not specific in which it has to be. Just know if your attention gets drawn to it and you think of him, he is there. I know connection with music will come for you as well. And he will be leaving like pennies from heaven. So little coins, that you find that don't feel like they're supposed to be there. So he's really going to try his best to communicate with you and bring you that sense of peace and belonging that you're wanting to feel. Again, I know this has been a very difficult time, but he is with you, holding your hand through this too. Spirit world brings healing, heart healing for you as well, for this passing and for other situations that are attached to it too. So it will all be okay. And as we're moving into the holidays, please know he is going to be by your side 24/7. So I'm going to leave you with that, Michelle. Thank you for the validation. And did he want me there with them at the end? They don't hold any worries about that over in spirit world. Know that everything happened as it was supposed to be. He knows that you love him, and that's all that matters to him, is that he knows the love is there. He loved birds. Okay, beautiful. So you know that that's going to be a way that he communicates with you, my love. So thank you for letting me work with you. I hope that helps a little bit. I know it was a quickie, but I hope it helps. So thank you, Michelle, too. I'll hand it back over to you, Shannon.
Excellent. All right. I have a message for Jennifer about her kidneys. I think it's
Okay.
Jennifer. I'm not going to pronounce your first, but Osika. If you're still here, Jennifer, I have a message for you from your birth angel. And I'll just go ahead and get started, and I'll say it quickly. But I want you to know that your birth angel is coming through. That your birth angel is coming through, and she's gorgeous. She's fierce. I'm seeing her with dark hair, and she has a sword with her, and she is confirming that it's not your time to go. That it's not your time to go. As someone who knows, she's saying you have a long and rich. She's showing me this layers of tapestry, this long and rich life yet to come, and that the best thing that you can do right now is to lean into that, knowing that that you transplant will be successful, even if you're not a match right away. Not to worry, that there will be a match, that it's not your time to go, and that you're going to have a very rich and delicious life. And I'm going to leave it at that right now, because I'm not seeing you in the comments just yet. So I will leave it at that right now, on the off chance that you catch it in the replay. If you're there, go ahead and write in, but if not, then I'll stop right there and perhaps go on to another person.
Yeah, I know Melinda's sister Monica just lost her kitty a couple days ago, Milo, and I know you're really good with the pets. Maybe a little something for Monica.
Yeah, let's see what we can. Well,
Yeah,
I'm definitely hearing from Monica. definitely hearing a meow right away. So I get a sense that this cat, this kitty, she's like meowing, meowing, meowing. That she was quite vocal, and so that I'm also getting images of some of just the classic cat behavior, but especially the scooting things off of the scooting things off of the scooting things off of, I'm seeing the bedside table, right? Like that getting your attention. But yeah, scooting things off of the bedside table to get your attention. And what I get at the moment is her, just that overwhelming gratitude for the wonderful caretaker that you were. Yeah. And there's something else that's coming through that she's showing. I'm going to give a second for, there's a lot of energy here. I could just get the sense of the feistiness, the feistiness of your cat. What she's showing me is she's showing me that when you go to sleep at night, right? When you go to sleep at night, that she comes and curls up on your chest, right? That she comes in and curls up on your chest. That is the perfect time to connect with her. Like I get that sense of her purring on your chest, and that she likes to help lull you to sleep, and help send you off to sleep. And that she's showing me that in the other side, she's still having a great time playing. And she's also showing me, I'm getting, have you dreamt about her? I'm getting the sense that you've had a dream about her. She's shown up in your dreams. And if for some reason I'm wrong, to look for her in your dreams, that she's really excited that she's going to be connecting with you in your dreams if you haven't actually seen her yet in your dream. But that the two of you are very connected. Yeah, very connected. And she's saying that to also be noticing that if things are dropping off the counter, that are dropping off the bedside table, that's definitely her. But yeah, I'm getting visions of her curling up on your lap. But yeah, to be able to connect with her before you go to sleep, that she helps lull you off to sleep. Thank you. I'm so sorry about the loss of your cat, Monica. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it just happened a couple of days ago, and so I know it's a hard loss. She loves her kitties. So that was beautiful, Shannon. Thank you. I appreciate it. Is everybody still here? If we could just do a quick roll call to see who's still here and who's open for reading, that would be very helpful. Thank you for being with us, Monica. We love you. Jesse Singh, praise the sacred felines. That's just beautiful. Lots of love for everybody here too. Let me see. I feel okay. I just want to see who I feel drawn to. Yeah, Daniela, I do feel drawn to you. I'm going to draw a card for you, Daniela. Daniela's from the UK, and she's a beautiful medium as well. And let me see what I get for you, darling. This one, 44. Divine presence, the force of love and creation. Well, how perfect is that, Daniela? That is your card too. I know that I want to go actually into 2026 as being very significant for you, a year coming up. And I know that sounds far away, but there's no time and space. It's actually going to be a hop, skip, and a jump for you because you're so busy with so many activities of your work with spirit too. But I do feel some significant big changes for you coming in 2026, but very beautiful indeed. They are letting me know that you're doing a lot of what I would say is worldwide healing for the planet. You have specific frequencies that you work with. And this includes the angelic frequency that works with you too, to help give worldwide healing for the planet, not just for peace, but for the actual energy of the earth, for the earth to have more, what I want to say is regeneration and growth, and moving moving us along the trajectory to help keep that flowing in the way that it's supposed to. So there's no, what I want to say, is stagnation in the energy, if that's making sense for you, Daniela. That's what I'm being made aware of. I also know like the nature spirits, the trees talk to you as well too. So your connection's been continuing to get very, very diverse. They're showing me you've been doing a lot of work, like with paperwork and things like that too. And it feels like that's not your favorite thing to do, but it needs to be done. But you've been trying to diligently keep up with your paperwork, but that's where the project manager angels can come in and help with you too. You can ask the angels for some help with paperwork so you can get it done faster, so you can have more fun. So I hope that's making sense, Danielle, too. Really coming in here just to give you those little bits of extra for you, and lots of love, and really just validate all of the progress that you have made, all of the transformation that you have made, and your service to spirit will continue to grow and flourish. So I will leave that with you, Daniela. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. Okay, Miss Shannon.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I am being drawn right now to the other Jennifer McCormick. Thank you so much for being here, Jennifer. And immediately, I'm seeing just a big, bright white light come in behind you. So just the classic way that I see the angels come in, that big bright white light. And this bright white light is she's coming in as female, and she's telling me that she is a project manager angel. And so again, those project manager angels coming in at that moment of transition, or a project you're taking on, or something that you're up to, and that she is here to help you. Oh, interesting. She is showing up, and she's showing me like construction equipment. Like I'm seeing a saw, and I'm seeing a hammer, and I've almost see her got a leather tool belt on. So she's showing up really, pretty powerfully with all of her tools ready to get to work. And so she's telling me that this thing that you're up to, has something to do with constructing something. So I'm not quite sure if that's actually physical, or if that is still, spiritual, but that this has to do with constructing something. She's telling me she's here to help you put the pieces together. And so I'll ask you, like, I hope if you can take this, that she's here to help you construct something. And she's telling me this has to do with a big dream of yours. And I'm hearing her say that it's time to get started, right? That it's time to get started. And so what she was really honing in on is that starting process, right? That it's about this starting process. And so we were talking a little bit about building safety and building the confidence to move forward, or that sense of personal safety, by constructing a plan. And so what she wants is, she's here to... No, she's like about getting your plan together, making that plan concrete. So she wants you to call her in and to create your plan. I'm trying to get a better that she's telling me that vision right now, that it's still like that big vision, but now we need to start breaking it into pieces, parts, right? Like breaking it into pieces, parts. And that once you break it into pieces, parts, that it's going to become more manageable, and that you'll be able, it's about lining up your own system to the resources that you need in order for this vision to come to fruition. So she's showing me you sitting down with that piece of paper, and starting simply off with that brainstorm, right? So that brainstorm of that piece of paper, and just simply sitting down, calling her in, and writing down all the steps that you can think of, all the components, all the steps, not trying to make sense of it, but first that step one of just collecting all the pieces, parts, that she will help you start constructing once you have all of those pieces, parts, all of those components of that plan gathered up in that big brainstorm. But to know She's telling me the words destiny. So this vision is a part of your destiny, and working on this project, and she's also corrected me, accomplishing this vision is actually part of your destiny. And so to know that she is there to help you, and she is there to help you to turn it into fruition, and that she has all the tools. So not to worry about having the resources, not to worry about, how it's going to come about, that's her job. Her job is showing up with all those tools to sort of put the pieces in place and actually construct it, so that you just need to show up and start working with her. I'm seeing this explosion of just joy and light, and she's telling me certainty. So she's using words like certainty and destiny, that you are absolutely capable, and that the world will rise up around you to make this happen with you. And I'm asking her, I'm like, okay, are you going to give us a little bit more clue about what this vision is about? And she's telling me no, that it's still at that generative phase, that even speaking about it or trying to define it coming from me would influence the situation too much. So she doesn't want me to put voice to too much or influence it too much. She wants you to work with her, because apparently it feels like there's still some aspects that, are in flux and in play. So she wants you to be working with her as opposed to hearing too much about it with me, and building your relationship with her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your angel with us, Jennifer. Getting to meet her and her tool belt and all of her hammers and her saw. That was really cool to get to experience her.
Oh, that was beautiful, Shannon. Thank you. And everybody, please, quick roll call to see who's still here and who's still open. And Shannon, I'd love if you would do another one, but real quick, I'm going to make a couple quick announcements, and then I'll hand it back to you too. In about 2 hours, Miss Kelly Brickle, our producer, will be doing the psychic hour, and she will be doing readings as well. So it'll be time to have a nice long lunch and then come back for that, please. Tomorrow, her and I will be in person in Orange County. Sunday is my spiritual service. Now, next week, I'll be back on Embracing Infinity with Tracy Peffer, and her and I will be doing some mediumship readings as well. And a week from this Sunday, mark your calendars, Shannon, Miss Fran Pierce, and I, the three of us, are going to come Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. Pacific. Angel readings, fairy readings, dragon readings. We're going to the enchanted realm, so you don't want to miss that. So I wanted to make sure I got that out for anybody who didn't hear it earlier, and for if anybody's going to be, leaving the thing because they have to go back to work or something too. So I want to make sure I get all that out. And with that, Shannon, everybody who's still here and is open is putting some messages there for you to see who you might still be drawn to. Thank you. If you don't mind doing another one.
Absolutely. I'm actually drawn to Miss, is Melinda still here?
I don't see her.
Excellent. No
she
worries.
said lovely.
Oh, there she is. I was going to say, I felt Melinda.
Yes, she is.
Melinda, you've got a new project manager, Angel, that has shown up. This one was definitely trying to get my attention. And this project manager, Angel, he's a badass. And he's showing up with he's roaring in on his Harley, right? Like, so you've got a biker dude who has just showed up. So I just hear him calling out. So yeah, he's got his leather vest on, he's got his motorcycle boots. I will tell you, he's rather handsome. So he's looking good. He's got his Harley. And what he's telling me, I just hear him calling out like, incoming, almost like get ready, because something big and interesting is coming your way. And I'm getting the sense, like, just like, when you're we live in California, I'm in Northern California, but I know Melinda's in Southern California, and so lane splitting is allowed here. So what all the motorcyclers do is if they're coming up behind you, they rev their engines so that they let you know that they're coming. And like, that's what I'm hearing, right? Like, I'm hearing him revving his engine and letting you know that he's coming in with like, boom, I'm coming. That whatever this is, it's coming in with a roar, the roar of a motorcycle engine. And you can even feel me speeding up. Like it feels like it's dynamic. It feels like it's exciting. And I hear like it's what you've been waiting for. So I don't know if you've been trying to manifest a particular kind of opportunity, or I keep hearing the word project. So as opposed to a transition, this feels like an opportunity that becomes a project that you get to work on. I actually see you physically, like I'm getting the image of you rolling up your sleeves and actually getting your hands dirty. So this feels like something that's very hands-on. Yeah, and I'm actually seeing your hand. I've been joking about, getting your hands dirty. I'm actually seeing your hands dirty. So whether this is working in the soil, something that would get your hands dirty. And all I'm seeing this big grin on your face, Melinda. This big grin on your face. And what he's telling me, it's going to be both a discovery and a confirmation of a different side of you. There's an acknowledgement of how much you've been working on your spiritual gifts. And and this is actually even another different facet of who you are and something that you're really good at. But yeah, I keep seeing dirty hands, and hands-on and very physical and 3D. And I see you like, woohoo, right? Like, so I don't even know if it's like working on motorcycles or something like that, but yeah, something that gets your hands dirty. And I'm waiting for a moment to see if I get any more information because I can feel it here. Yeah, I'm just seeing all the satisfaction, like you doing the Wonder Woman pose and being really proud and pleased. I don't know. Okay, so it sounds good. Like, this is a weird one, Melinda. Like, have you ever wanted to like fly planes or like be a pilot or do anything along? Okay, you love working on your bikes. Okay, because I'm wondering if it might even have something to do with planes or flying, or yeah, like because I'm getting this image of like sort of an old-fashioned plane and flying away. So I don't know yet. They're not giving me a whole lot just yet. But I'm hearing that you love working on your bikes because it almost feels like you could be physically, working on planes or working on helicopters or something like that. So anyways, Melinda, we'll see what happens. We'll have to keep me posted. Flying open. We'll see, but it feels like it's going to come roaring in and drop right in your lap. So that was a lot of fun to meet your biker dude, Angel.
Oh, that was awesome. Yay, Melinda. Yeah, she's been growing. So she's really been flourishing and opening up and growing and putting herself out there. So that's a beautiful message for her too. Like, whee! So I thought, Shannon, what we could do is we could each give just a little group collective message. So I pulled a card, and then you could do a little quick group, so everybody gets something too. And so what I pulled was number 41, and this is talent guides, spiritual mentors, and teachers. So of course these can be spiritual guides, but these can also show up for you in the human form as well too. So people show up in your path to help give you knowledge, assistance, shared energy and frequency to help you along your path. So as a group, because collectively everybody here is trying to grow spiritually, you're all very intuitive, you all love to give healing, and you all bring open hearts to everybody, reminding you that you can call on your helpers and your angels for help with your gifts too. Spend some time with them, sit in the quiet or out in nature or with some music, and ask them to come in and help you enhance your gifts. And they would more than love to do that, because there's, probably thousands, millions, billions of angels out there looking for a job. So let's serve spirit and give them a job. That's what I'm hearing. They would like to be put to work. So, but they like to be asked. It's nice, and that's empowering for you too. But then also remember that angels show up in human form too, just like my dear Shannon here is a walking earth angel too. So she's come to bless us as well too. So I hope that's helpful for everybody. And then Shannon, if you wouldn't mind doing a group message for everybody. Shout out to Mike, who just joined us as well.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me here, Jennifer. This has been
Yeah.
just delightful. All of your fans, count me in, but all of your fans here and online joining us. So thank you to everyone here who showed up today as well. The first thing that they're asking me for you is to take a moment again and just sink back in and feel the presence of your angels around you. So simply taking your awareness a little bit bigger and perhaps notice how your awareness of them might have developed or grown or changed or been enhanced since the transmission. And as you're noticing them, that reminder that as you notice today, that manifesting, creating, being alive is that combination of the spiritual, right? Like the vision, the dream, our connection to spirit, and the practical, right? Like actually executing one foot in front of the other, right? Like those, what I like to call inspired action. And to know that combination that we just recognized today, some of the practical steps that they recommended for people to take, that combination we can sometimes be using for big, new, exciting things, but that we also can be using that combination just for simple day-to-day living, that they're here for the big and the grandiose and the important, and they're also here for things that we consider mundane or have-tos, that might not be quite as exciting, and that they're reiterating that creating a plan, thinking about what you want, being intentional about what you're creating, that very much can build up a sense of safety and relief for our systems that supports those bigger, broader dreams. So to continue asking them, to continue to breaking down those asks into smaller and smaller digestible bite-sized pieces, and noticing your own progress, because you are so loved and they are here to help us and support us on our journeys, big and small. Your angels love you so, so much, and they're here to help you make everything you would like come true. If you can dream it, they can help you create it.
That's so beautiful, Shannon. Thank you for that. I know, right? Or feeling the emotion as and that beautiful wave of like angel blue, just like rolled in as you were talking. The beautiful angel blue color just came in and was like just blessed all of us. So that was awesome. Everybody, you can find Shannon if you'd like to book a reading with her, or career coaching as well. She's fabulous in all ways. Our mediumship angel messages. You can find her on Instagram at Shannon Ratay, and message her there, and she will get back to you as well. And any last minute words you'd like to leave with us here today, Shannon?
Oh, just thank you so, so much. You've all been lovely and wonderful and amazing. It was wonderful to get to know you and your angels. And so thank you so much.
You're welcome, Shannon, and thank you for being here with us today and for sharing your time. I know you're a very busy gal. You work very, very hard, and you took time out of your schedule for all of us here. So greatly appreciated from all of us. Please, everybody, thank you so much also for being here, for sharing space with us, for your love, for your connection, for your interaction. We're truly grateful for all of your support. Thank you, Kelly, for taking care of us, our producer, and making all of this possible so that we can all be here together in the spiritual community. I greatly appreciate all of us working as a unit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, angels, for showing up and gracing us with your presence. We're truly, truly grateful. Please, everybody, may this love and this healing be multiplied infinitely, so every form of consciousness on this world and beyond can feel safe and loved and held in the arms of angels. May all the beautiful children be taken care of, have homes, shelter, loving homes. May everybody have food. May everybody have peace. We look forward to our world growing together with more love, peace, and harmony. Miracles happen every day, all the time. And with that, please, everybody, live well, love you well, and walk in grace. Much love from me, I care about you so much. Infinity from your honey, Jennifer McCormick. Just so you know, he gave you a little wink just now. And we will see you in 2 hours for the psychic reading show with Kelly Brickle. Hope to see you at Sunday service. And we'll be back next week, a week from Sunday, with Shannon and Miss Fran Pierce for messages from the Enchanted Realms. And we'll see you next Friday on Embracing Infinity. Goodbye, everybody, and have a beautiful weekend. Much love to everybody.